You're not going to believe this, folks, but the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. That's right. A new study came out from the Russell Sage Foundation, and they found out some pretty interesting stuff. Let's take a look. Between 2003 and 2013, the average household's net worth, adjusted for inflation, dropped by 36% in 10 years, from about $87,000 to about $56,000. In the same time frame, the wealthiest 5% of the households increased their net worth by 14%. Now we've got a 24% gap right there alone. In New York, there are about 390,000 New Yorkers worth more than $1 million, which means that 1 out of every 21 residents of the city is a millionaire. I guess that's why I left New York. I'm not a millionaire. All right, now we talk about income inequality all the time here, and we know it's getting worse. But is this another one of these issues where it just keeps getting worse because the whole system is rigged and we just don't, like, we don't know how to dig ourselves out of it?
Well, I think for me, I don't know why, and I'm nowhere near a part of being a millionaire, a billionaire, or even a thousandaire these days. But I do feel like it's important to say that I don't blame most of these millionaires for being millionaires. They got into, good, they found their niche. They made it work. Free economy sounds great. Yeah. And that's not the problem. I don't think that's the problem. Let people make their money. But now that that's happening, and on the other side of it, I don't even know how related they are in all the cases, but it said the average income was like $87,000, now it's $55,000, but now the cost of going to college is more expensive. Your grocery basket's gonna be half full with the same that it would have been 5 years ago with a full cart of groceries. So that's the thing. I don't blame them, but I'm certainly angry.
Yeah, well, every time we talk about this, I always say I don't begrudge anyone's success. I do agree with you. And also, to have $1 million, you could live in Westchester and work in New York City and have $1 million and really not be. There's a difference between ultra rich and being upper middle class.
Being a millionaire used to mean something. Nowadays, when I'm in New York, I can't even step out of my limo without bumping into a dozen other millionaires. I had to get out too. It's unconscionable. Yeah. I want people to, if you're rich, I want you to stand apart. Millionaire.
You can't swing your sable without hitting another millionaire. I understand.
Yeah, I agree. It's shocking and horrifying that there are so many millionaires when we should really be talking about billionaires.
No, I can't quite tell if you're being serious. No, well, no, but you're sort of. You're making a point through comedy.
You're both saying I don't begrudge people their success, and I don't either. But the problem is that we have a system that is rigged against poor people to keep poor people poor and to keep rich people rich, and they're the ones who are rigging the system. It's not really the millionaires though, because if you're a millionaire, it may not even put you in the top. It probably puts you in the top 1%, but it doesn't put you. It doesn't put you in the. A lot of that might be you own a home that is worth $700,000 and you got $400,000 in the bank, which is obviously comfortable, but it's not. But it's not Daddy Warbucks.
But and that's what. So when we've done this and we've talked about the 1%, what I always try to say is what we really should be talking about is the 0.1%, because the 0.01%, or the 0.01%, because these are the people with really the hundreds of millions, if not the billions.
Right, and I think we've heard this topic a lot. We've talked about this topic a lot as a society, and I just had this urge to get out in front of it and say that, because I think people always come back and go, you just don't appreciate people who work hard. That is not what I think anyone is trying to say.
Yeah. So, okay, so we're all agreeing.
I don't appreciate people who work hard. They make me look bad.
You work way too fucking hard.
Says my producer of TYT 140. It's good to know. So, okay, so we talk about that all the time. So I guess the real issue, so all right, so let's move, the rich people are okay. So let's talk about those poor people. So their income down 10% in only 10 years. So who do we blame? Okay, I get it's the system, but it seems to me that I don't know that the Democrats have been any better. Nobody's good. Nobody is good. Everyone's taking money from Goldman Sachs, Hillary Clinton included. She just stepped in, by the way, this week. George W. Bush couldn't do a speech for $250,000, so Hillary Clinton's doing it.
I had no idea how interchangeable they were.
Incredible.
Can you imagine who's responsible for paying George W. Bush $200,000 for his speech? I mean,
somebody in Crawford? A neighbor?
What's the return on that? Yeah. I can't wait to hear his insights. He's really gonna. Maybe he'll talk about the political scene right now. He really got a lot to say about that.
Yeah. So nobody, is that the answer? That both of the parties?
Well,
really
I think the question is, at what point in time do people become so squeezed that they actually go and grab the torches and pitchforks, because that's what, like, Nick Hanauer's a maybe not if he's a billionaire, but he's a multi-millionaire, Seattle, made money in the tech industry, and he's talked about this. He supports raising the minimum wage and doing more for healthcare and so on and so forth, because he's concerned. Like, he's like, we need to worry about this. The gates, they're not. There's no way our gated communities are secure enough. I've seen Have you seen the security guards who work there?
Yeah.
That's not going to protect them.
Yeah.
Well, they're just hoping that the cost of pitchforks and torches rises, so either people can't afford them.
And that's the thing. I mean,
bring us home.
Don't they see how this affects everybody, and it can affect everyone in a positive way? A society that just has the top people and the bottom people can't stand. It's like they've never heard the phrase, a high tide raises many boats. So if you're taking care of your people will take care of you.
Yeah, and that's why we need a strong middle class, which we did have at one time in this country, and who knows, maybe one day we will get back.